Guys, it's time to get back on the UGRC Dirty South build. It's been forever and a day. I apologize. Small parts, pieces are just kind of a challenge putting this thing together, but I'm learning. I got some Dravtech Shocks right here that are going to go on this. And I was messing around with it on the table, and I've already got to order the offset tops. But anyway, we can go ahead and get this thing started right here because there's a lot to talk about. The way this thing is set up and the way it's going. Guys, let's get to that table. And here we are. I want to point out that I want the front suspension to ride about right there. I want it to actually like touch. And these tracks of shocks are really close. The rear, I was trying some lay down stuff and all that. When you get down to about right here, the shocks are pretty much useless. So I'm going to put the towers back on there, get the shocks to stand up a little bit more, but I want the back to ride about right there. So I want this thing to ride good and low. This is my first time with an angled skid, also my first time with the Dravtech Shocks. So I've got the soft springs, I guess the mediums, and then the harder springs right here just for tuning purposes and all that. The bolts and stuff that I'm using are from Team K&K. I bought that at USTE. And these are all the different parts and pieces that came with the chassis because I don't know what I'm going to end up with. I mean, this transmission may come out and may put a dig transmission in it because I really like to dig. I also want you guys to see, I've actually got another one of the $60 transmissions right there. I'll have to see how that works. But it does come ready to put like a CMS on it, if that's what you want, the servo and the axle for skill points and all that. But I'm obviously not going to do that. There are my steering. So let's go ahead and see what we got here. Like I say, just test fitting these onto here. They bottom out way early from what I want. So, and according to the offset shock caps, it actually drops it down or makes the shock shorter when it's fully extended. Now, I've only got 10 weight oil in here, and to me they feel pretty darn good, but time will tell. The way I'm going to try to go about this, I've got these sliders. I'm not sure if I'm going to use them or not because the game plan is that once I get the servo in here, which will probably be the new Reefs 900, probably the 900 in there for sure. I want to fit all the electronics, the battery and everything right in this area right here. So that means I may have to get a new printed piece or figure something out to put my ESC, which will be the probably the Holmes Crawlmaster Mini. You can already see the revolver snub nose. I've got another one, a 2200 kV. No, I've got the new version 3 2050 kV motor that I'll probably be going into here. But yeah, I've got all that and I want to fit everything inside the chassis right there. But you know what? Let's go ahead and get to these shocks, see if we can get these things on and see if we can get this thing to set where I want it to be. Granted, I don't have all the weight and all that on there, so I'll just set some stuff on there just to see, just to mock it up. As I'm mocking this up, you can see the front, I've got the ESC, BEC, and the battery sitting right there. Granted, there'll be a little bit more weight, I'm assuming. Plus, you know, it's kind of forward where it'll be sitting up here, so it'll be kind of backwards a little bit on that. But the front springs actually look about right. And as soon as I get the drop on that, the different spring top, the shock body top, that right there will actually probably put it right where I want it to be. The back, however, they are just too soft. Now, these pieces right here are just brilliant. You can flip them over, put them on either side of the chassis to fit just about any axle you could possibly want. So that's a really brilliant piece. Plus they're adjustable. That's awesome, man. Really nice. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and put these springs on right here and just see how the back sits. Now this is a little bit better. However, I think I may want to swap those with the fronts because the fronts have like the mediums and the reds are the stiffer. It does have the O-rings that you can kind of do a little bit of tuning. You know, kind of like a shock collar basically. You can use that space right there and kind of tune the springs a little bit. I'm gonna put these on the back and these on the front. Now granted, still, there's no body, you know, so still the weights are not finalized and all that, but still, I'm liking how this is turning out because this has got to sit about right there. And if this is a little bit too stiff, what I can do is actually tune it with some rubber bands to kind of hold it where I want it to be, but not lose the articulation. Remember those videos I did? Yep, nice simple rubber band should pull these soft springs down just about right. So yeah, this is going to be interesting here. This is looking a lot better right here. The medium springs on the back, these are actually the ultra soft, so they are for really lightweight vehicles. Well, anyway, the mediums are right there. That looks perfect. And you can see there's still some shock shaft right there because we're actually on that. I have no problem trimming that plastic away, by the way. However, when you articulate it, you can see it actually makes full contact right there. So that is actually pretty darn good. I'm gonna go ahead and put the wheel hexes on it and all that. Now the fronts are the hards, and they are definitely up there. However, the thing is, I also ordered some mediums to match these up here, but I can use those rubber bands and get that to pull down and be what I want. But this right here, obviously the top of the shock will be changed out and all that. But anyway, that should work out pretty good. I'm assuming the shocks are okay to mount like this, just like other shocks are. Guess I'll see if there's an oil drop under them after tomorrow. But let's go and get the wheel hexes on it and set this thing on some tires. There it is. Now the front is zip tied down, they are fully compressed, but that's about the ride height where I want the front to be. So hopefully this all works out. This is definitely a new experience getting all this figured out. And I'll probably have to do the O-rings on here like I've mentioned a few times once I put the body on and the 10,000 milliamp 4S battery. Yeah, nah. But anyway, I want you guys to look at something. See if I can get this in perspective here. There's the front and there's the back. So definitely a difference in the width, which is what I'm after, because I can position the front. I can move the front around. The back you want to squeeze through the gates. And I've got some 6mm wide hexes on here as well. So yeah, it's actually about 4mm wider than what it would be normally. On the back, you can see there's virtually nothing to hang up on. So you get full benefit of the portal axle. All that clearance. And like I say, the front, well, you can steer that. You can maneuver this around. And I did do some clearancing on these knuckles. These brass knuckles and all that, they took some work to put together. They're an off-brand, something I figured I'd try to save a few dollars on and kind of regret it. Had to trim the bolts holding the covers on. It's just not a very good piece, but hopefully they'll hold up for now. I mean, I had to work on the bearing race areas. Just kind of not exactly a good part. But regardless, they are trimmed, so I gotta bend this to get a sharper turning, but it is going to turn pretty darn sharp because I've got more room that I can go right here. And yes, the knuckles will make that. So yeah, it's gonna be quite the interesting thing. This thing should have a lot of turn. Now I'm not doing any overdrive yet in the front axle because there's a 20% overdrive in the transmission. So I'm gonna try it with that first, but I do got a feeling that this is going to get a dig transmission in it at some point, and having steering that can turn, super sharp, you're gonna make that dig super effective. So, there we go. You can kind of see a little bit on it there. There we go. You guys can see a little bit on the difference of width. But anyway, that should work out pretty darn well. Now I'm just waiting on new springs and the cap pieces to get the front to sit where I want it to sit. But in the meantime, I can look at getting my electronics and all down into this area, because everything should sit right into here and be right here, and the rest of it should be nice open. I will put a brace across there because that is kind of flex a little bit, so I got a brace across to that. Obviously I got to figure my drive shafts out, which will probably be a combination of Capra and Pt2, the Wild Boar 8 drive shafts. There's no reason to go metal drive shafts on this, just not needed. But anyway, Now, as I'm sure you guys are looking at that moving around, no, it does not have an open diff. I've got one set of portal gears in the Capra for the tire test. Yeah, I needed one set of stock ratio gears. So that's why I've got the differential action back there. This thing's gonna be awesome. Not bad. Now granted, the bed will be cut out, so that'll be dropped way down low. Lots of cutting to the body. I do have a creep body in the closet waiting for this thing, so this should work out really nice. Oh yeah, this is going to be awesome. Well, it's coming together. I still gotta get my drive shafts on. I was hoping to get that done here, but need some more parts and pieces. Plus, I'm waiting on the shocks for the front so I can get those adjusted where I want it. But the thing is looking pretty darn good. I like that the front's wider than the back. You know, like I've already told you guys, you can position the front. And I do have a feeling this is going to get a dig transmission at some point. Now, with all the skids that are included, that I got with this, I can actually bolt one right in. Yeah, and I'll make that thing turn as far as it can go, because it can turn really sharply. I've got everything trimmed out. Yeah, this thing should dig like perfect. I mean, like really good. But anyway, I'm looking forward to getting this thing drive. I did weigh it in with the ESC battery and the BEC, sitting on the little scale and all that. It came in at 5 pounds, 2.5 ounces. So I figure once I get everything secured, everything put in, a few more chassis braces, it'll probably be right at 6 pounds. I got a feeling that's where it's going to be, right about 6 pounds. That should be pretty darn good, and it should work with most any tire out there. When you go really light, it's kind of hard to get your tires to work correctly, but it can be done, which is proven every single day with the 3.5 pound rigs that are out there competing. So, and that's awesome that you guys got them things so light. I mean, really, that is awesome. But anyway, this right here should be around 6 pounds when all said and done. I'm not really trying to keep it super light. If I was doing that, I wouldn't be running these wheels, but I like these wheels. Anyway, guys, check that description. I'll link up UGRC and the parts and pieces that I've got on this, and use those links. Helps out the channel. So, you know what it is? Check that description, use those links, make sure you're subscribed, and thank you all for watching. If you're still watching, you are top shelf. You are the cream of the crop, the pick of the litter. You are phenomenal. Thank you for watching to the end of the video. It means a lot to me. Now, down below, there are links for the products you see, also for channel memberships. If you guys want to be a part, channel members get early viewing on pretty much everything that I can. So, guys, check that description. There's a lot of info down there. Thank you all for watching.